Morning, everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday class. There's Kat. She's going to be in the chat, helping you out if you need any issues. And I'll just say, I'm just going to type hi there to everyone in the chat. So please just tell us where you're from. Okay, so we're into week 3 of our water. See you in a bit, Kat. Yeah, we're into week 3. Got some exciting news for you. We've actually put together some notes for you, which I'm going to give you I'm going to allow you to download, and I'll show you where you can find them if you can't download them. We've got some notes for you for the whole year program. And today we're going to start off tuning in, and we're going to go into we'll find out how you're doing, and then we're going to go into a little bit deeper into the water element. So really looking forward to that. And then we're going to go through the exercises again. We're going to develop them, and we're going to obviously tweak them for how the group's feeling. That's what we do. Okay, so thanks ever so much for turning up and joining us today. So yeah, we're into the water element. And I thought just before we start, just like to find out whether you're a Shiatsu practitioner or a client, because we've got a mixture of Shiatsu clients and clients, some practitioners. So I just thought I'd ask you, are you a Shiatsu client, a student of Shiatsu, a practitioner, or a teacher, or an other? Just to give us an idea of the distribution of the group, because that helps me when I'm kind of like delivering the theory and that, to know where you're coming from. Okay, wow, look at that. Actually, we've got about 60% of you are actually Shiatsu practitioners. Some of you are Shiatsu students, and about a quarter of you are clients. And that's how we started this group off, but it's grown and it's actually become very popular with Shiatsu students. And some of you, look, one of you is a teacher out there. So thank you very much for tuning in. Okay, so a lot of this material, if you're a Shiatsu practitioner or a student, will be familiar to you. But let's find out, first of all, how we're doing. So one of the things we noticed in the last couple of weeks is that there's been more of the group have been going into this blue zone, into this freeze zone. So I just want you to just reflect on how you're feeling at the moment. Are you feeling in the present? Do you feel pretty balanced in the present? Curious, open and compassionate? In other words, are you in that green zone? Or are you feeling a bit more stressed, maybe a little bit frustrated or worried, or maybe even some anger there, or fear or anxiety generally? Or have you started to edge into that blue zone where you kind of feel depressed and everything kind of shutting down? Okay, so I've got a poll for you now. I really would like you to let me know what, or like us to find out which zone we're in this week. And then we can tweak the exercises to best help us move back in towards the green zone. So let's just have a look and see what we've got here. Okay. Yeah, and again, a bit like last week, very much more than we had in the first wave. We've got to look after those of you who are going into that, between that red and that blue zone. And look, we've only got 28% of you really feel solidly in the green zone. So the stress levels have been mounting, and there is another factor which we're going to discuss, or we're going to explore today, which is to do with the seasons, because the first lockdown was in the spring and the summer, which is a yang time, and lockdown is yin. Whereas now we're definitely into the yin time of the year, and that's affecting us in a particular way. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to tune in to the burners, and then I'm going to just link that with another question I'm going to ask you about how you're feeling emotionally. Okay, so this is the time of the day of the Wednesday class where I'd like you to get your piece of paper and draw 3 boxes. I've got a slide for that. Found out, yeah. So 3 boxes like this. We're going to tune into the 3 zones, and what we're going to do is we're going to see which burner needs some work, and we're going to link that with the elements in a moment. Okay, so just to remind you, the lower burner is below the navel. It's in the, I'll just take this off now. It's this area here, the lower burner below the navel. So we're just going to spend a moment just tuning in, relaxing, tuning into this lower burner here. Down onto the pelvic floor. I'll close my eyes for a second. So what is it like? Okay, very good. I'm just going to draw a little picture of what that lower burner is like. Got it? Okay, and then we're going to go up to the middle burner, that's this bit here, that's below the diaphragm, through into the lower thoracic and above the navel. So we're going to tune into that area here. Just close our eyes for a second. Okay, what is that like? Once you've got a picture or an image, then we can draw that in. And you can write some words if you like, that helps sometimes remember what it's like. Okay, ready? And so now it's the upper burner. That's the whole of the lung area and the heart area. Okay, and we're going to just tune into that area. So I'm just going to relax, tune into that area. Okay, got a picture? We're going to draw that, and if you were here last week or previous week, then you'll want to just maybe think back and see how things have changed. I found that they really, for me, has changed a lot from one week to the next. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you about a question. I'm going to ask you a question about how you're feeling emotionally, what the dominant emotion that you're feeling right now is, and just make sure you read all through. I'm going to read all 5 options out and I'm going to describe them to you, and then I'd like you to pick the one that you think is most predominant, because that can give us information on the elements. Okay, so which of these emotions do you feel most often? Do you feel a little bit manic, a little bit kind of like, ooh? Do you feel worried? Do you feel sad, fearful, okay, or frustrated and angry? Let's just see what the dominant emotion is at the moment. And then we can look, and I'll just give you a little bit of background on the emotions of the 5 elements. Okay, this is very, very interesting. We've got we've got sadness and worry there, and we've got fear coming in 3rd place. Okay, so there's quite a lot of emotions, strong emotions going on there. So now, thinking back to your 3 burners, okay, which of these 3 burners would you like to work on today? And we'll see if we can tie them up. So I'm going to launch the next poll, which is, which of those 3 burners would you like to work on most today? Okay, here we go. So let's see. Wow, okay, it's the return of the middle burner, everyone. Middle burner and the upper burner. It's shifted again. Okay, we went through a period early on where we had much more upper burner stuff going on with the in the pandemic, and then it shifted more into lower burner, and then the last 2 or 3 weeks the middle burner has been really predominant. Okay, so what that tells us then is that, and we can map that directly to the emotions that you're feeling, because as you'll find out when you read the notes, the middle burner is related to the stomach and the liver, which are related to that anger and that worry. Okay, and the lower burner is related to fear, and the upper burner is related more to sadness and that kind of mania thing. And so that matches how you feel emotionally, matches exactly with the burners that you want to work on. Okay, so it's fascinating, isn't it? All right. So now I'm just going to quickly go through the slides for this week. We've just got just a couple of minutes just to do the theory. So look, here we have the 5 elements. They expand on yin and yang, and you can see there's definitely some wisdom embedded in the 5 elements, because what you just described as a group totally matched the 5 element correspondences in terms of the emotions, which we'll deal with in a minute. Okay. So basically we have yin and yang, hot and cold, active and inactive. The 5 elements give us a bit more detail, and they're particularly related to the seasons. At the moment we're in winter, so we're going from metal into water, and the season that we're in at the moment and the season we're working on is the water element. And now I thought we'd just play a game, for just a 30-second game, if you want to do it with me, which is I'd like you to type in the chat just one word that you associate with water. And I'm looking at the chat right now. If you can just type in one word that you think cold. Yeah, very good. That's the first one we had. Sea, cold, cold, flow, life, therapeutic, cold, flow, depth, flow, freedom, deep, flow, dark, thirst, very good, deepness, silence, scary, okay, sea, flexibility, flowing, floating, cold, fear, power. Finally, we have power. Thank you, Sheila, there, power. Nourishing, silence and calm, powerful. Good, we got a few powers in the end there, but you see, the first thing you thought of was cold, wasn't it? Okay, the water element is related to the adrenal system, is related to power, thank you very much there, but it also is associated with freezing, the freeze response, fear and courage. And that freeze response, by the way, in terms of the nervous system, is the tendency to go into the blue zone, okay? We've got some wobbly, I like that, rushing, yeah, wet, very good, thank you, yeah. Okay, yeah, so anyway, when we go into the blue zone, that's the water element freezing up. So now what can happen then is when the water element gets frozen, you get lots of other emotions triggered like frustration, anger, and then you've got kind of a mania, and you've also got sadness as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to do we're going to focus on getting you out of that blue and red zone down into the green zone, and we're going to work on supporting the water element and then freeing up those other emotions that everyone's feeling very strongly at the moment. Okay, and here's a little table. We've got winter, we've got fear, and we've got courage and willpower. We're going to be focusing on that today, really increasing that courage and willpower, and we'll find out how that can start to dissolve those other emotions that build up when we're under stress. And we've got point of the week coming up, and I'm going to leave that for later on. We'll get straight on to the exercises straight away. Okay, so here we go. If you're ready to stand up. Okay, now those emotions that we feel, those strong emotions of frustration and anger, they're all related to the middle burner. But the middle burner is like it's kind of like nourished from below, from the lower burner. So even if we're feeling these emotions in the middle and the upper burner, or we're feeling these emotions, we're feeling maybe blockages or energy disturbances, we always need to go down to the root, which is the water element, because we need that flow. And in terms of emotion, what we need most of all is we need courage and willpower to be strong here to let this start to relax. So let's go, okay? First of all, let's make that connection with the earth. Really important. Remember kidney 1, we're going to open up kidney 1 like we've done in previous weeks. Remember that was the point of week 1. We've got to get that kidney 1 open, and we'll do some more work on that later. So we can just bounce around on our feet, stretch that kidney 1 open. Bring your mind down through your legs, open up those hips, feel the connection deep into the earth. Very good. Okay, so here we go. We're going to relax. We're going to relax those hips. And now let's get some chi into our hands. We're going to clap our hands together. We're going to rub our hands together. And now we're going to inject some willpower and some courage power into the lower dantian. That's the visualization for the week, the water element association for the emotions. Okay, so we're going to just relax our upper body, start to turn. And what I'm doing, I'll just give you a close up here, is I've got my hands very lightly over the dantian, just below the navel. I'm just relaxing and rotating around the dantian. Okay, as we're doing that, let's make sure that kidney 1 is open. Make sure our upper body is relaxed as we can be. And now let's breathe down into the lower dantian. Now what that means is when we breathe in, we should feel this area getting bigger as the breath goes down. Diaphragm is dropping, relaxing the abdomen, and then as we breathe out, we imagine air coming out. We keep that energy underneath our hands and let it spread out into the lower burner here. Okay, just keep the shoulders really relaxed and float your head up. That's it. Okay, keep it really free as possible. And then open up that kidney 1, connect down into the earth. Okay, now think about your lower burner and think about it as being connected to the water element. So what do you want there? You don't want it to be stagnant, you don't want it to be frozen, you don't want it to be boiling hot and steaming and bubbling either, do you? No, we don't want that. We want it to be fluid, as you said in the chat. We want it powerful. You want it fluid, flowing. Okay, so just get that feeling of flow and power into that dantian. Okay, very good. So now this one, if you've got flexibility in your shoulders, we can do this one. This one is a great one for imagining that willpower and that courage being stimulated. Now, the thing is, if we've got enough willpower and enough courage, we won't need to feel worried or angry, will we? So that's the way we're using this using the water element to nourish that middle burner and the upper burner to just release it. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, here we go. I'm circling around bladder 23. This is the point on the middle of the back here, directly connected to the adrenal system. So if we're feeling frozen, okay, we want to really get this warm as we can. Really important to get this really, really warm. Very good. Okay, excellent. So now if you just relax, we put our arms to our sides. Have they joined up? Has the warmth from here joined up with the back? If it has, that's great. You've got a nice, stable and warm and energized lower burner. Really good. Okay, so now let's give it a little bit of a helping hand this week, because what we're going to do is stimulate the kidney meridian with some dough in, and then we're going to release the hips. So let's just rub our hands together, and we're going to work up the kidney channel. Now at this stage, don't worry too much about the location. We're just going to tap behind the ankles, and we're going to tap up down the back, inside of the legs, behind the knee, and that's where the point of the week is going to be, by the way. I'm going to show you where that is later. That's kidney 10, just behind the knee. And we go up the legs and into the lower burner. Okay, now let's go down the bladder channel. Let's energize the sacrum. That's related directly to the bladder, part of the water element, by the way. And we go down the backs of the legs. Okay, now the reason we're doing this is because we want to get that unfrozen feeling. We don't, if you imagine that the kidney energy or the water element is starting to freeze up, then we want to just really make sure that it's starting to flow and to move. Okay, round onto the sacrum. And then down. Back to the legs. And up the inside again. Let's go 3 times. This is the 3rd run of it. Down the back of the legs. Down to the feet. Okay, good. So now let's check in again. Now, if we just stand like this with feet shoulder width apart, keep those hips relaxed, connect with the dantian again. Can you feel how tingly that feels, and how much more energized it feels down the legs? Okay, really good. Okay, so let's go over the breathing again, like we did last week, because there are quite a lot of us now going into that blue zone. If you feel you're in the blue zone, you don't want to be emphasizing the exhalation too much. The reason for that is it kind of calms you down, chills you out, which you don't need. If you're in the blue zone, you're feeling really quite down and kind of like flat, I want you to keep the breathing even or emphasize the in-breath. Okay, so let's practice that. Just doing a simple breathing exercise. We're going to connect with the earth. We're just going to do this Tai Chi breathing. We're going to practice moderating our nervous system with the breathing. Now, if you're in the red zone, you're feeling maybe frustrated, maybe angry, then you want to emphasize the out breath. Okay. And if you're feeling pretty much in the green zone at the moment, you're feeling pretty okay, you want to keep them even. So let's practice that. And let's feel the difference of the different ways of breathing. So first of all, let's start with it nice and even, breathing in. Okay, breathing out. Okay, keep that kidney one open though, and keep the hips relaxed. That's it. Keep those nice, energized legs connected to the earth. Nice, even breathing. Now that will keep the nervous system just where it is. Now, if you'd like to get out of the blue zone and into the red zone, we need to do this. Let's just do this for a bit, everyone, breathing in. And now can you feel that's just starting to energize us? Okay, and that's because the nervous system, the vagal system, is directly connected to the breathing. So now contrast that with this, breathing in. Now a slow exhalation, emphasizing exhalation. Breathing in. Now that's much more calming, isn't it? And that's what we need if we start edging into the red zone and we're going and we want to get back down into the green zone again. Okay, so I'm going to leave it up to you through the next 45 minutes to regulate the breathing. Keep it neutral, or if you need more movement, bring more in-breath in, emphasize the in-breath, and then emphasize the out-breath if you want to get from the red zone down into the green zone. Okay, right, checking in. We've established this courage, this flow, this power here in the water element in the lower burner. Okay, so let's just tune into how good that feels. We're going to open up kidney one again, get that really solid. Okay, now once we've got that solid, we can feel the middle burner is able to release now. Okay, and we're going to do it with our favorite exercise, which is this twisting exercise. But this time we're going to really emphasize the connection between the lower and the middle burner. Okay, so what I'd like to do is hold here to start with and just move that middle burner. See if you can feel how easily it twists when you support this lower burner. Because what we're doing is we're nurturing, we're supporting it. Now if we take our hands away, focus just on the middle burner and hold that area and then turn, can you feel how much more ungrounded that feels? And it feels kind of like much more stuck there, doesn't it? Okay, so that's the secret of nurturing the water element, getting that watery feeling up into the middle burner and giving some flexibility. So let's really enjoy that. We're going to keep those feet nicely grounded, keep kidney one open, and that will let us really let go of some of that frustration and that anger there in the middle burner. And we do it through nurturing our courage and our willpower. So keep that breathing down into the lower dantian. Keep the hips relaxed. Feel that tingly feeling down into the feet. Doesn't that feel great? That's it. Okay, don't forget, if you want to get out of the blue zone, keep that, emphasize the in-breath. If you want to get from the red to the green zone, emphasize the exhalation. Very good. Okay, so now we've got that starting to move. We can use some dough-in to really get the energy moving for the middle burner. And to do that, we need the gallbladder and the stomach, gallbladder, liver, stomach, and spleen, which is the front and the sides of the body. Okay, so let's start off here. Let's just do a little bit of Ampuku therapy. We're just going to do some self-shiatsu on the middle burner. I'm just going to gently press in here. Just want to get that energy moving now. Now that we've freed it up and now that we've supported the lower burner, we can really get that to start releasing. Very, very good. Okay, so once we've loosened the energy up using some Mampuka therapy, we can now continue that energy movement down to the legs. So let's start with the stomach meridian, and that runs just along the outside of the abdominal muscles here. And this is more related to the worry and concern. Okay. What we need this to be really relaxed and to feel really grounded, so that you're just not going to worry about anything. And we can do that because we've got a nice strong lower burner that's supporting the whole thing. Okay, so let's go down the outside front of the legs. Down past the knees, down into the feet, and then we come up. Here we go, down we go. I'm just going to move it close up, and down this bit, past the outside of the knees, to the inside. Okay, third time down, tapping, relaxing out the abdomen. Very good. Okay, and then brushing off 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, very good. And checking in, middle burner. Okay, now if it feels a lot better for you, it's probably because you're one of the worry people, and it's probably the stomach channel that you need most work on. So now let's do the other channel that relates to the middle burner. We're going to do the gallbladder channel, which is the side of the body. Again, down here, we go right into the center of the buttocks there, and then we go down the outside of the legs, just down where the trouser seam would be. That's the gallbladder channel. Down we go. And then up the inside. This is the liver channel, the inside of the leg. Very good. Excellent. And then brushing off down the outside of the legs, and the inside. Okay. Great. Okay, so let's check into the middle burner again. Whoa, okay, I'm definitely a liver and gallbladder one myself, because that was the biggest change I got on that. So if you're feeling frustrated or angry, then this is the one for you, liver and gallbladder. Wow, that feels so much better. Okay, excellent. Okay, so that's the middle burner. How about doing a bit of a shakeout? Always a good idea, because this middle burner is tends to be related to kind of obstruction of energy. So what we're going to do is just do some shaking. We're going to shake the hips all the way down to the feet, and then we'll come up and we'll shake down up into the upper body. Okay, so let's first we'll concentrate on the hips. We're going to just relax, shake out the hips. Let's do this one first. If you can stand on one leg, that's great. You might want to hold on to the wall or the chair. If you can't keep your balance, you keep that hip really relaxed. Then the other one. Okay, then down onto the knees, relaxing the knee. Relaxing the knee. And then the foot and the ankle. Okay, very good. So let's just shake around the diaphragm area, down the rib cage, and you can move this way, and this way. The idea is just to get that whole middle burner moving. Very good. And then the elbows and the wrists. Okay, so what have we done? We've charged the lower burner because we need courage and willpower Because if we've got enough courage and willpower, we don't need to worry and we don't need to get frustrated and angry. Okay, so the next bit is the manic behavior and the feeling of loss and sadness. Now, we've just come out of the autumn, and that's the time, metal time, so that's the time of sadness as well. So it could be a seasonal thing as well, but we definitely need to look after our lungs and our heart in the upper burner. And again, that connects with the lower burner, because the lower burner is kind of like the root of the whole thing. So let's make sure that when we do this lung exercise, let's just do this Qigong lung exercise, bring the hands up, the thumbs go outwards like this, and that opens up the lung channel. Okay, now you might remember from last week when we did kidney 3, that's on foot here, one of the things it does is it helps the breathing, and the reason for that is because we need this lower burner to be strong to anchor the breathing down. Okay, we don't want this to happen. Okay, we want the anchor energy down and bring the breath in right down into the dantian. So let's just do it. Keep the hips relaxed. That's it. Keep that kidney 1 open. Keep that courage in the lower burner, and that will really help that feeling of sadness. The courage kind of melts away that feeling of sadness because we've got enough energy and willpower to move forwards and to let go of stuff and move forwards. And that's the emotional kind of impact of doing this exercise, connecting the lungs with the dantian. We're doing it with the breath, so keep going, keep the shoulders relaxed, keep that kidney 1 anchored into the floor, keep the breath going down into the dantian, and then just really relax and open up those shoulders. Okay, now as our arms go back, this opens up the lung channel, connects up, and it connects all the way down into the lower heater. So see if you can get that sensation of connection between the upper burner and the lower burner. And don't forget, if you're really in that blue zone a lot, you want to be going just try not to hyperventilate, but you want to emphasize the in-breath. And if you're in the red zone, let's chill out. And if you're in the middle, you can keep it nice and even. Okay, keep those hips relaxed. Keep that kidney 1 open. Keep that anchoring to the earth. Feel the courage in the lower burner. Let go of any sadness in the upper burner. Very good. Very good. Okay, excellent. Okay, so now let's do some work on the pericardium and the heart. And we're going to do these stretches. Again, make sure that the heart is very closely related to the breathing with the vagal nerve as well. So let's really use that as a way of regulating regulating how we're feeling. So if you want to breathe in, okay, and if you're want to get out of that blue zone, we're going to breathe, emphasize the in-breath. And if you want to get out of the red zone, we're going to emphasize the exhalation. We're going to spread that breathing right into that channel, which runs right down the center of the arm. Okay, but now we need to connect with the water element, don't we? So let's get that breathing really down into the lower abdomen. Bring out the arms forwards. Bring your attention into the lower burner. And then breathing out. Keep that connection with the earth. Open up kidney 1. Okay, and regulating the heartbeat and that kind of manic behavior or that kind of panicky behavior that we get sometimes with the heart is really important to keep that connection with the lower burner, because that's what anchors it down and calms the whole thing down. Okay, so let's keep going. Breathing in. Breathe into the lower dantian. Breathe out. Very good. Okay, breathing in. Breathing out. Okay, let's just do a couple more. Breathing in. Keep that kidney one open. Very good. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, good. So now let's just check in again. Holding the dantian, relaxing the shoulders. Now just check into your upper heater now. Doesn't that feel a lot more open? We've got a sense of calmness here. We've got energy going into the lungs. But we've got this nice feeling of connection with the lower dantian. And that's what we're looking for, to regulate the middle and the upper heaters. Okay, one more technique and then we'll go and we'll do point of the week. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do the stretch for the heart. This is one of my favorites. So we're going to put our hands in the prayer position. Okay, and we're going to keep connection with the dantian all the way through the exercise. So keep that kidney one open, keep the hips relaxed, breathe in. We're going to bring the elbows out to open up the armpits. Breathe out and calm the chest on the exhalation. Keep that connection with the earth. Very good. And then come out. Check in with the lower heater. Keep that connection between the heart and the lower burner. Breathing in. Breathing out. Very nice. Okay. Breathing in. And breathe out, come down. Okay, what we've got here, we've got the heart center, center of the emotions. If we've got the willpower and the power here, we can relax, we can be loved and we can love. So we can keep this nice and regulated. If we don't have that willpower, it's going to go, whoa! And that's the really important relationship between the lower burner, the water element, and the upper burner, the fire element. Okay, so let's just do one more stretch. We all need that at the moment, right? So let's keep that breathing really into the lower dantian. Keep those hips relaxed. Keep the soles of the feet open, stretching up. Breathing in, breathing out. Feel the connection between the heart and the lower burner. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so we've regulated the 3 burners. We've got point of the week to do. We need some more energizing of the lower burner, and then let's sort out the yang channels to make sure that we're not carrying any tension into the next week. So I'm going to just show you the slides that I've prepared. And don't forget that we've got free notes for the whole year coming, and which I'm going to share the link with you at the end of the session. So don't let me forget that. Okay, so here we are. Point of the week, dun, dun, dun. Okay, and I'm just showing you the slide. It's kidney 10, it's behind the knee, okay? And I'm going to just adjust my camera so that I can give you a close-up of my inside of my knee. And we'll see if we can find it and see if we can put it into a little routine for us. Okay, now kidney 10 is a little bit more difficult to find than some of the points that we've done. So let's start off by revising the points that we've done already. We've got kidney 1, which is right on the sole of the foot. So let's just do some going on that point. Just really make sure that point is really opened up. And then if you remember, we came up this way and we went to kidney 3, which is right behind the ankle. In fact, you can see it on that chart there, kidney 3, but the best way to find it is just go halfway between the ankle and the Achilles tendon. Okay. Now, if we go up the kidney meridian, we're going to go up the kidney meridian. I'll just show you. In fact, what I'll do is I'll turn this off for a second. I'll show you in big. Yeah. We go up the kidney meridian, which is up here, up the back of the leg. When you get to here, you're going to feel 2 tendons, 2 kind of twangy tendons there. Just show you where they are. They're just right here. If you can find those twangy tendons, right between those 2 tendons, and slightly up into the back of the knee, that is kidney 10. Okay, I'll just show you the picture again. Okay, that's between those 2 tendons right there. Okay, now what we can do then is we can hold that point there with one thumb like this, and we can connect it with kidney 3. I'll just show you that in full screen. Okay, so what we can do is we can connect. Let's see if we can feel a connection. So what I'm going to do is I've got my thumb here. I'm feeling those two tendons, and I'm pressing in between the tendons into the back of the knee. Now, if you get that point, you can feel like a sensation often up through and into the lower burner, like this. Okay. See if you can connect down into kidney 3. So we're just going to hold that for a second. See if you can get a feel connection down between those 2 points. And what that does is that opens up the whole kidney channel. And if we connect it with kidney 1 as well, you'll get a sensation of connection all the way up there. And that's really good. It really does open up the whole kidney channel. And we need that because we need lots of courage going forwards to help us with all these emotions. Right. So here we go. You can do some doing as well, starting on kidney 1, tapping up the inside of the legs. Okay, my thumb is right still on that kidney 10 point. See if I can show you. Glad I'm doing some yoga right now. See, I've got my thumb right in between those 2 tendons there. Just going up 2 or 3 times, the kidney meridian, and making a connection between the 2 points. Excellent. Okay, so that's 3 points we know in the kidney channel now, and I'll just give you a second and I'll show you what it can do. Maybe you can guess even. Let's do the other side. Let's get that kidney 1 nicely stimulated. Yep, and it's a very tiny gap between the tendons. It's just literally, if you go behind, you feel a twangy tendon. There's really only 2 there, and that it's right between the 2 tendons. If you go too far in, you get into the back of your knee. And if you go too far round, you can get lost into the knee joint. Okay, so you just find the most twangy tendon there and you go inside of it and you'll feel another one like there, just there. And it's just in that groove there. Once you've got it, you can't really miss it. It goes into the back of the knee. You don't go too far down, you're right in between the tendons. Okay, so we've done, so if you can get this thumb in it, which I've done doing now, this thumb is right in there. And if you press in gently between the 2 tendons, depending on how you angle your knee, you can feel them more prominently or not. If I've got them there, I can feel both of them really, really strongly. Okay, you get into that point there, and then you may feel a sensation up here into the groin and into the lower burner, and that's great. It means you're opening up the channel here. And if we work here, okay, and we press kidney 3 and just hold those 2 points and imagine a connection between them, you may get a sensation between your hands, or you may feel a strong sensation up into the lower burner. Okay, and if you want to work the channel, we can tap up the channel towards kidney 10. Okay, and if we do that, we're going to get super power connection into the lower burner. And I'm just going to put the slide back up again for you so you can see it's between those 2 tendons there, and the location of it is there at the back of the knee. Okay, and what does it do? It's called yin valley, so it is like a valley. Benefits the kidneys in Chinese medicine, so that's the water element. And this is a really good one. If you get any cystitis or painful feeling of heat here in the lower burner, then that's a really good point for it. So you can do self-shiatsu on kidney 10 if you get like urinary problems, cystitis, things like that. If I was you, I'd work the whole channel from here, work kidney 3 as well, because that's good for kidney yin as well. And it's also a local point for knee pain. If you get pain at the back of the knee, you get weakness in the knee joint, then you can use that point, because it could be a kidney meridian related knee pain that you have. So it is a really useful point to know. Once you've found those twangy tendons, you can't go wrong. So let's just see what effect that's had on our energy. When we go back into standing position, and we can see what's happened to our energy. Here we go. I'll get my camera back. Great. Okay, so having done all that work on the kidney channel, let's see what's happening now. So let's just stand and relax. Okay, doesn't that feel really great? Can you feel that opening in kidney 1, into the ankles, and then up into the knees? And that means we've opened up the whole channel all the way up, and that's going to help us nurture that water element, give us that courage that we need to release these other emotions. Okay, great. So now it's time to work the yang channels, and just to remind you, these are the yin channels, okay, and these are the yang channels. Particularly when we get strong emotions, we tend to get them into the yang channels, and that's what makes us go like this. And we don't want to be like this. We want to be like this, with energy in the lower burner. Okay? So let's start working the yang channels in the head. We'll just do 10 minutes of releasing the yang channels. What I'm doing is I'm just pressing around here. These are points. Gallbladder channel is on the side of the head, so we can just press the side of the head. Stomach channel starts off here and goes down this way, so we can press all around the cheekbones. From a polyvagal point of view, it's really important to keep these muscles working because we want to be able to smile. It's very important for our nervous system that we smile. Because one of the things that happens in the blue zone is the face starts to freeze up and we get this type of expression. So let's keep all these muscles working, open up. Very good. Okay, so there's a little bit of a face routine there. And now let's do some doing on the bladder channel, which runs along the top of the head, actually goes all the way down the back of the neck. I'll give you a close-up there. It goes down here. We can tap this area. Or if you've got enough flexibility in your shoulders to do this, it's really good. You might find it too much, you might want to do this. But the idea is to relax and work this channel here that runs from the top of the trapezius muscle here, this bit of muscle that you can feel going up into the neck, all the way down. Again, the bladder is related to the water element. It's related to the nervous system. It's the yang channel of the water element. So it's a really good idea to get this really released. We go out a little bit further. We've got the gallbladder channel. This goes from this indentation here. Again, you can press it like this with your fingertips. Or you can tap it, or you can squeeze with your heels of your hands, whichever's easiest. This is kind of like the liver and the gallbladder area. So we've got bladder, gallbladder, and the other yang channel that goes down from the head, which is really worth doing and often neglected, is this one that runs down the front of the SCM muscle. And I like to do it like this, just grabbing hold of the SCM like that and squeezing it here. So I'm just runs right along here. I'm squeezing it down there. Basically, we want to get all the tension out of the head, and we're going to squeeze it out down the arms and the feet in the next 5 minutes. So just keep working it. Great. So we've got face and head, neck, and now the next most common place to get tension building up is around the shoulder and the upper back. So let's do this kind of thing. Tapping, you can support your elbow if you like. Tapping all around here. The other side. Oh, feels great. Okay, excellent. So now once we've released the shoulders, we need to get that energy down to the fingers and down to the feet using the yang channels. Okay, so what happens is it goes from here down the outside of the arm. So we're going to take that tension from there, we're going to squeeze it down the arms and out of the arm here. go. Okay, so we've got three yang channels that run down the arm. They all go down the arm, they all come from the head and they go down this way. So let's just do them all at once. Doing all at once now, all of them, all of the outside of the arms. Excellent, okay, and the other side, get that tension from the head and shoulders, and we're going to go squeeze it out, down the outside. Okay, there we go. Very good. Excellent. So now we just need to go down. If you've got someone to help you, if you're doing it with a friend or family member, they can tap down your back and you can share that together. If not, you're on your own like me. See how far you can get down the back, tapping the other side of the spine. See if you can meet this hand or the other coming up this way. And then go as high as you can, down. And then we want to go down the outside and the front of the legs. We already worked these channels, the stomach and the gallbladder and the bladder. So it's basically all these outside channels. We're just going to generally work down the outside and the front of the legs. Okay, very good. Okay, now one of the ways we can really relax the head is to massage the hands, because the hands are the end of the yang channels. So we can do all the fingers. We're just going to pull, squeeze and pull the fingers. So I'm just getting hold of them like this, squeezing each of the joints and gently pulling the finger. The same with the ring finger. The points at the ends of the channels are actually the strongest acting points, and we use them a lot in Shiatsu to treat things, problems of the head. And as we go through the year, we'll be adding more information about all of the elements and all of the points. The idea being is that when we've done a year's cycle, we will have covered pretty much the whole of first year Shiatsu training by doing self-shiatsu exercises. So it's a really exciting journey. We're only on week 3 now. We've done 3 points, kidney 1, 3 and 10, and we've started to go deeper into looking at the water element. Okay. But each week we're going to find out how you're doing, or how we're all doing, how our emotions are moving, and we'll tweak the exercises to help us all get through the next year. So it's going to be a really great journey. Okay, so here we go. Doesn't that feel great? You just shake the hands out. Now we're going to connect the hands with the head and the shoulders, relaxing the jaw. Just see if you can feel a connection between the hands, shaking, and the jaw. So we're going to relax the wrists, relax the elbows, relax the shoulders, relax the jaw. Ooh. Doesn't that feel good? Okay, very, very good. Okay, so now we just need to shake out down the legs one last time. So keep the hips as open as you can. We're going to give it a nice shake. All the way down to the foot, and again all the way down to the foot. Okay, very good. Just jumping up and down a few times. Shake out any tension that we've got left after that. Okay, excellent. Okay, now finally we're just going to come back to the center again. Wow, doesn't that feel different? Okay, so now let's tune in again to our energy. And we'll just finish off with some nice breaths, connecting to heaven and earth. Now open up that kidney 1. You'll feel that energy going right up into the knees, connecting with kidney 10 and then into the lower dantian. Really, really nice. Okay, nice, solid, courageous feeling in the lower burner. Nice and free in the middle burner. Just let go of that worry, any worry and frustration. And a nice, calm, relaxed, open feeling in the upper burner. Connecting with heaven and earth, imagining that string, that golden thread, connecting us to heavens. We're going to breathe in. So all together, breathing in, breathing out. Connecting with the earth. Breathe in, sink down, sink deep into the center of the earth. Breathe out and float up. Sink down into the center of the earth. Connect with the heavens. Float upwards. Breathe in and breathe out. Try and feel that connection much bigger than ourselves, way up into the heavens, way down into the center of the earth. And that support just helps us release and enjoy being in the moment. Okay, very good. So the theme of this week was the water element, the emotion of courage. We got that courage and that power into the lower burner that let us release all of the other emotions. Okay, so here we go. What I'd like to do now is I'd like to share a link to the notes, which you can download. If you can't download it, then just go to shiatsucenter.co.uk and you'll be able to download it. What we've done is we've done a partnership with the Shiatsu College. And we've basically edited the first year notes of the Shiatsu College and we've focused it more on the background information that you might like to read up about to make more sense of this cycle that we're going through around the whole year, exploring the elements and applying directly to our own energy awareness of our body. And the intention is to help us all get down into that green zone and be able to live our lives with as much joy and compassion and connection as we can. And I think it's such a real responsibility that we all have. If we're into energy work, we can work on our own energy and we can radiate that out and we can really help the community that we're in. And that's what's really working really nicely with these classes. And we're really enjoying putting them together. Thank you so much for tuning in again this week. Tell all your friends again, they can just register on the shiatsucenter.co.uk site or on newenergywork.com. There's a link there. They can sign up and they can get hold of the notes and we can work through. If you've got any feedback that you want to give us, you can always email us, send us a message in or mention it on the chat and we'll try and build up the resources for you and really help us all go through the next year. Okay, thank you very much, Kat. I saw you were incredibly busy there. It was a really busy chat this week. So maybe you, after the session, we can just get a bit of feedback. You can let me know. We'll have a look at the chat and see how we can move forwards and everything.
Sure.
Okay, great. I just thought that connection between the elements and the emotions was amazing. It was a pretty much one-to-one connection with the distribution, wasn't it? It just shows you there's a lot of wisdom and truth in this traditional material. Okay, thanks ever so much. And we'll see you next week at the same time, 10 o'clock GMT, 11 o'clock Central European time. Thanks to everyone.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you next week. Bye. End the session.